Good morning, children. Once again, we are back in the science class. Today again, we are going to start with our revision of chapter number 4. This chapter number 4 is heat. As you know, this chapter you have done before your holidays. So I hope we will have the revision so that it is much more clear, and still if any concept or any term which you have not understood, you will be able to understand that once again and the chapter will be clear to you. So when we start with the chapter heat, two terms that comes up to your mind are heat and temperature. So what is heat? Heat is a form of energy which enable us to feel hotness or coldness. Now, hotness and coldness when we think, so as soon as we are thinking these two terms, in our mind we come across with something which is very hot and something which is very cold. So when we think of something which is hot, cold, ice cream comes to our mind, and for hot thing, it's your hot tea, hot milk that comes to our mind. So how this transfer of heat takes place here, or else you can say, how does this transfer or the flow of energy takes place? It always takes place from a region of higher temperature to a region of cold region to a region of lower temperature. That is why heat always flows from one object to another only when one object is warmer and the other one is colder. Or else you can say when one is very hot and the other is not that hot. So children, we can identify these objects in our day-to-day life in a normal way by just touching them, and few of the objects we are familiar with when we come across them. Here I have written few of the objects on the screen which you can see, and they are candle, tea, ice cream, cold drink, lava, snowman, Pepsi and your soup. So these are some of the objects which I have given over here. Now if you want to segregate them, then we can easily segregate them by just touching them if we feel these objects are hot or these objects are cold. So we just touch them with the help of our hand and we just feel them whether they are hot or they are cold. But here, when you often to decide which object is hotter or colder, when we are doing it by touching, we do it with the help of our sense of touch, but that sense of touch is not that reliable because the result that it is giving us is not sometimes according to our need. It is not according to whatever we want. So for that we will go for one of the activity. This is activity 1. So here you will find that when we are talking of something hot and something cold, there is a difference in their temperature also. Now what is temperature? So the temperature is the measurement of hotness or coldness of an object. When we measure something, either when we measure the hotness of an object, we say it's the temperature of that particular object. So children, here when we take the temperature, here we are taking the temperature with the help of our sense organs, and that is our hand. Here for this activity, we are taking 3 buckets. Bucket A, bucket B and bucket C. In bucket A, we are taking cold water, and that too ice cold water. In bucket B, we are taking hot water. In bucket C, we are taking mixed water. That means neither it is very hot nor it is very cold. Here you can see three buckets. Yellow bucket is your bucket A, which is containing your cold water, ice cold water. Bucket B, which is your blue color, which is containing hot water. And bucket C, that is your green color bucket, it is containing the mixed water, that is neither the water is very hot nor it is very cold. Now what we will do is, we will dip our right hand in bucket A. As you know, this is very cold. Okay, it is containing the ice cold water. Left hand in the bucket B, which is containing the hot water. For 2 to 3 minutes, we will put our hands simultaneously. After this, taking out from bucket A and B, we will put the hands in bucket C for 2 to 3 minutes. Now what we find is, either what we really feel is, we are not able to sense by touching, or else our sense of touch is confused now, that whether the water is hot, whether it is cold, or it is moderate, that is in between, whether it is hot, cold, or it is in between. So for such things, we use a device, and that device is said to be thermometer. So what is thermometer? Thermometer is a device which is used to measure the temperature. Now, as you know, there are various types of thermometers which we have been using in our day-to-day life. So among them, some of the thermometers you are aware of. They are, first is your clinical thermometer, second one digital thermometer, third one laboratory thermometer, fourth one maximum and minimum thermometer. So when we are talking of these thermometers, here I will be showing you few of the pictures after this of the thermometers which you have to identify. Children, I feel all of you are sitting there with your pen and your paper. So here you will be writing down 1, 2, 3, 4 and you will be identifying the thermometer. This is thermometer 1. So I feel all of you can identify it and you can write it down. Yes. Second one is this one. I hope you have written the answer. Third one is this one. And last, the fourth one is this one. So here children, I showed you 4 thermometers. The first one was this one. So I hope children you all have recognized, you have identified this one. This is your Celsius thermometer, either your clinical thermometer. This is a thermometer which is used by human body. This is used in your home to measure the human body temperature. So it is known as clinical thermometer. This is your second thermometer, which is nowadays very common, and it is your digital thermometer. Since mercury is very harmful, it is very toxic in nature, so nowadays you will widely find this type of thermometer everywhere because it does not contain any mercury. It has a plastic body and it is very easy to use as it provides us with the accurate reading in the form of digital display. That is why the name given to this type of thermometer is digital thermometer. This is your laboratory thermometer. Now what is your laboratory thermometer? This type of thermometer we use in our labs. This is used to take the measurement of, either to take the measure of the temperature of the hot object such as your boiling water, or sometimes even to take the temperature of the cold water, either the ice. So such type of thermometers are used in your laboratory. Last, this one is your maximum and minimum thermometer. This type of thermometers are used by the before taking the weather report. Okay, so these are the 4 types of thermometers which we are continuously using in our day-to-day. So children, here we will start the discussion of clinical thermometer. So here you can see the clinical thermometer on the screen. Here you can see, here it is starting with ranging from, here you can see the measurement that is there, it is ranging from your 35 and it is going above, but here you can see in between in red color 37 is written. 37 degrees Celsius is the normal body temperature of any of a healthy person. So for that you can see here everywhere in red, this is your red color, this is here you can see it is given as 37, and here you can see something shining over here, this is your mercury. So here these are the two things which you can see easily on any of a clinical thermometer. Apart from this, here you can see the body of it, which is made up of a narrow glass tube. So we will just now discuss, we will just talk about what is a clinical thermometer, or we will just discuss about the clinical thermometer now. So when we are talking of a clinical thermometer, just now I showed you what is a clinical thermometer, what are the important things on a clinical thermometer. A clinical thermometer consists of a narrow uniform glass tube. It has a bulb at one end and the bulb contains the mercury. That is what I showed you right now, that on one of the end it is containing the mercury within the bulb. Outside the bulb, a small shining thread of mercury can be seen on the glass tube, and which we can see a temperature scale, which is usually in your Celsius scale. So I showed you the bifurcation of the scale. I showed you how the different scales are there on it. It starts from 35 degrees Celsius and goes till 42 degrees Celsius. So here we can say the range of a clinical thermometer is 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. If we talk of in terms of Fahrenheit, we say 94 degree Fahrenheit to 108 degree Fahrenheit. But this is your Fahrenheit scale. But here on your this thermometer, that is on your clinical thermometer, basically we take the temperature in the form of the unit that we go for is your Celsius. Now here you can see a picture where the nurse is handling the thermometer in our own way. So this is not a proper way to handle a thermometer, either to carry a thermometer. So there are few precautions which we have to take while using the clinical thermometer. First of all, it should be washed before and after the use with the help of antiseptic solution. Second, don't hold it by the bulb while reading. While reading, we should not touch the bulb. Third, do not keep it near the flame or the sun because it will break. Mercury level should be below 35 degrees Celsius. When we are using it, it should be taken care of that the mercury level is not above 35 degrees Celsius. Now, there are few limitations of clinical thermometer. First limitation and the foremost is it cannot be used to measure the temperature which is less than 35 and 42 degrees Celsius, and it can break near the flame or the sun. So it should not be taken near the flame or near the sun. Now the question is how to measure the thermometer temperature of any of a water by using a laboratory thermometer. So for this one, I will tell you there are few points which should have been taken care of. First of all, we take the sample of water in a beaker. Now we will dip the thermometer in it. Bulb gets immersed completely in the water, but it should not touch the bottom of your beaker or your side. Hold it vertically and then observe. So here you can see the arrangement of your here you can see the arrangement how it is done. So here you can easily see this is not touching the beaker, the lower part of the beaker, and secondly it is kept vertically, it is placed vertically. So here easily we can take the measure, we can easily take the temperature of the water within that beaker. So this is how we use the laboratory thermometer. So the first thing which you take care of is it should be held in a vertical position. Second, the thermometer bulb should be dipped in the substance in the vessel. It should not touch the sides or the base of the vessel, and our eyes should be at the level of the mercury while reading the temperature. Then only we will get a correct reading. So I hope children you have understood about the clinical thermometer as well as about the laboratory thermometer. Now children, one more thing which is very important over here, which I will be telling you. Here within a thermometer, you will find a kink. What is this kink? Either what is the use of this kink? This kink is there which prevents the mercury level from falling on its own. When we shake it, at that time only it falls. It doesn't falls on its own. So this is the use of this kink which you can see on the thermometer. So I hope children you have understood with the topic about the thermometer which we have taken today, about what is temperature you have understood, how the heat transfer takes place, that is understood by you. So I hope these three topics are clear to you. So we will meet again with the transfer of heat in our next period. Thank you children.